Talk to us about our love tank. Can you explain this concept? Because it's really difficult to give love when you feel empty or void of love.
Yeah. Well, I use the gasoline tank of a car as a metaphor. If it's full, you can drive a long ways. If it's near empty, you better be stopping at the gas station. And so it's an easy concept that we have a love tank. And if your love tank is full, that is, you genuinely feel loved by your spouse, life is beautiful. If the love tank is empty and you feel like they don't love me, life can begin to look pretty dark. And much of the misbehavior in a marriage grows out of an empty love tank. We don't feel loved, and therefore, we either are criticizing the other person and making it even worse, or even worse than that, we get attracted to somebody else who's treating us very kindly. So, yeah, so that's why I suggest to couples every 2 or 3 weeks, you just say to your spouse, honey, on a scale of 0 to 10, how full is your love tank this week? And if they say anything less than 10, you say, okay, what could I do this week that would be most meaningful in expressing my love to you? And what they say may not be their primary love language that particular week. There may be a circumstance that they're going through that something else would be more important. But this is just a way of checking in, making sure we keep the love tank full.
Yeah. Talk to us about the role that God has in this scenario because God is love and love is one of the fruit of this it's the fruit of the spirit. And so talk to us about the spiritual side of this whole process.
Well, I think it's extremely important. As a matter of fact, in my own life, my wife and I struggled greatly in the early years of our marriage. And I finally said to God, I don't know what else to do. I was pretty desperate. We were both Christians and we were in love before we got married, but I came down pretty soon after the marriage from that in love experience. And when I said to God, I don't know what else to do, there came to my mind a visual image of Jesus on his knees washing the feet of his disciples. And I just heard God say, that's the problem in your marriage. You do not have the attitude of Christ toward your wife. It hit me like a ton of bricks because I remember what Jesus said when he stood up after he washed their feet. And remember, this was just a few days before he was crucified. And he said, you call me teacher and Lord, and you are right. But in my kingdom, the leader serves. Now, I want you to serve others the way I've served you. I want you to love others the way I've loved you. And I wept and just said, God, forgive me. Because I was in seminary. 2 weeks after we got married, I was enrolled in seminary studying to be a pastor, and I was miserable in my marriage. And so I said, please give me the attitude of Christ. In retrospect, it's the greatest prayer I ever prayed about my marriage because God gave me a heart to serve her, to love her. I didn't know anything about love languages in those days, but what I started doing was asking her questions. And three questions stand out. The first question was, honey, what can I do to help you? Second question, what can I do to make your life easier? And the third question, what can I do to be a better husband? And I was willing to ask those questions. She was willing to give me answers. And I started doing those things. And it didn't turn around overnight, but I would say within 3 months, she started asking me those three questions. What can I do to help you? How can I make your life easier? How can I be a better wife? We've been walking this road a long time now, and I have an incredible wife. I've said to her many times, honey, if every woman in the world was like you, there'd never be a divorce. And my goal in life has been to so serve her, when I'm gone, she will never find another man to treat her the way I've treated her. She's gonna miss me.